Hello students, today we are going to start the remaining part of the story, How the Camel Got His Hump, written by Rudyard Kipling. So, we have started the story like when the world has begun and the animals are started to help the man in so many works like carrying loads, this and that, and man also making them and taking the help of animals and doing the work we have seen. And there are so many animals like horse, camel, dog who are helping, and in that one animal, that is camel, who was very lazy and not doing anything. For that, all the animals one by one they called. The camel was so lazy and not coming, just he was replying them as hum. And all these animals have complained to the man about the work of camel not doing anything, only saying the word hum. So we have seen like this, but the man has given a solution for that like that, which made the other three animals very angry. Why? Because as camel was saying nothing, just saying hum, from that hum we cannot do anything, as man said. The man said that the work of camel, now you have to share and do that work double time. That made all the three animals very angry, and they were standing on the edge of the desert and they were planning something, and they are just discussing about this matter, what we can do now. For that, the camel came there and saw them. He said hump and went away from there, which made all the animals very, very sad about that and very angry about camel. Now, something has happened, which made all the three animals to make their relief from the work. They have started to get a solution from that person. Now let's see that who was that person came, which made all the three animals to complain about camel, so that they thought that they will get a solution from that. Let us see who was that person. Presently there came a jinn, who was in charge of all deserts, rolling in a cloud of dust. Jinn of all desert, jinn, a spirit with power, strange power we can say, who can, in the form of human beings, they will come and they can change anything in the atmosphere like. So it might be a bad or good evil we can say. So said Jinn of all desert, said the horse. Now the horse is addressing the Jinn of all desert. That means the Jinn is the owner of the desert, and said to the Jinn that is it right for anyone to be idle? The horse is asking the Jinn that is it right for anyone to be idle? Certainly not, said the Jinn. So here the Jinn is also replying that yes, of course it is not right. Well, said the horse. Said, then okay, there's a thing in the middle of your desert with a long neck and long legs, and he hasn't done a stroke of work since Monday morning. He won't trot. Like that, the horse started to complain about the camel to the Jinn, who was the in charge of the desert, because the camel is sitting on the desert only. So whatever happening on the desert, maybe the Jinn knows. Like that, the horse is thinking and he is complaining like there is in the middle of your desert someone like that who has a very long. That horse is telling about the appearance of the camel, that the camel which has a long neck and which has a long leg, and he has not done a stroke of work, not done like a hit of work, not stepped forward anything for work since Monday morning. From Monday morning, where the work started to do by everyone, as we know, as we also start to do the work from Monday, he has not even started the work. He won't trot, which means to step slowly also. View, said the Jinn, whistling, that's my camel. that he is asking that whether my camel is doing that with a whistling. What does he say about it? So everything was known to the camel. So the jinn is asking that what he is replying for if you are calling also. He says hum, and he won't plough, said the ox. The ox also started to complain after the horse, like I was calling him to plough. Plough means to dig the mud from the field. For that also he was saying nothing, just he was saying hump. Very good, said the jinn. Jinn said with very good. If such a situation is there, let's see what happens. So I will hump him if you will kindly wait a minute. So for that, the jinn is saying that I will talk about this matter to the camel and wait a minute. If he is replying again and again like that, I will definitely going to punish him with something, and I will give him a hump in such a way that he will not forget it. Like that, the jinn said to that all the three animals, assuring them, and he went away. This is all about part 1. Let us move on to part 2, in which we are going to see the jinns remonstrated with the camel who said hump. Remonstrated, which means talk about that matter with the camel. For that, what the camel said, hump. This was the first thing the jinn started with the camel. For that, the camel hump replied. Next, the camel's beautiful back suddenly grew up a lump, which was the camel's hump. The second point we are going to discuss in the part 2 is that which the camel is very much beautiful about the appearance. He is thinking about his appearance as a beautiful one, looking very beautiful. For that, which was camel was cursed with a big hump suddenly. Suddenly it was giving a big lump which made the camel look ugly. The second point we are going to discuss about that, why it had made like that. And the third, the jinn assured the camel his hump would always be a help, not a hindrance. When the camel thought about that, this was a very ugly one, and with that I cannot do anything. For that, the jinn is assuring that you may think if you are looking ugly, this and that, but this hump will not be a curse to you, or not a obstacle to you, because it will be a helpful for you in one such or the other thing. So these 3 points we are going to discuss in part 2 of the story. Let us move on to the text. The jinn rolled himself up in his dust cloak and took a walk across the desert, and found the camel looking at his own reflection in a pool of water. So the jinn again started to roll in the dust cloud. We can say that the jinn, we can say that with a flying of very loose dress they will be wearing, and they will be with gases of like foam, they will appear like. So he was rolling like in that, and he went and he crossed across the, we can say that the desert, by rolling and rolling with the air. He went and found the camel. He saw that the camel was looking at his reflection, that is, he is admiring himself with the beauty of himself in the pool of water. Now what the jinn is saying, see. My friend, said the jinn, what's this I hear of your doing no work? So the jinn started to ask the camel, saying, as my friend, what this? That means as the camel is sitting on the desert, and it was the owner of the desert. So the owner is telling him as his friend and asking him, what is I'm hearing of you are not doing any work. Like that, when he asked, the jinn sat down with his chin in his hand while the camel looked at his own reflection in the pool of water. What happened here? The jinn is asking something, for that the camel is not giving any answer to that. And the jinn started to keep a finger on his chin and started to look at what the camel is going to reply. But the camel is very cleanly looking at the reflection of himself in the pool of water. Again he started to ask, "You have given the 3 extra work ever since Monday morning, all on account of your idleness." So he is telling to the camel that you have not done anything, and this made the other animals who are working since Monday morning to their double work. Because of your not doing anything, your work has been given to them in double, which was you are sitting in the idleness of that. That means not doing any work and sitting over here very alone without doing anything, which made the other 3 animals to do your work in extra, said the jinn. For that also the camel, what he is saying, and he went on thinking with his chin in his hand that what the camel will reply. Like that he was taking the finger on the chin and he was thinking about that, what the camel will reply. For that the camel said again, as said the hump, said the camel. I shouldn't say that if I were you, said the jinn. So now when hump said by the camel, the jinn got angry and said that if I were in your place, that means if jinn is in the place of camel, he wouldn't have said that word hump. But the camel said that. And again the jinn said, you might say it once too often. So here the jinn is saying that if you will say it again, then see what I will do you. That means what I will do you, I want you to work. That means the jinn will give you work in such a way that you will not forget. And the camel said hump. So here what happened? The camel not obeying anything and again said the word hump. So this made the jinn very, very, very angry. But no sooner that he said it had it than he say his back that he was so proud of puffing up into a great big hump. So as he was looking into the water, his reflection, admiring himself, which made the jinn so angry, and he made the back of the horse puffing up, that means going up and up, making as a big lump, and asked the camel that, do you see that? Said the jinn. By asking that, that's your own harm that you have brought upon your very own self by not working. For that the jinn is replying with saying that, you have seen that on your back, a big hump which I have made for you. That's the only hump which you are saying again and again to everyone, by not doing yourself anything and any work for any other. So that is why this hump has been given to you by yourself, by your own mistake. So today is Thursday and you have done no work since Monday when the work began. So now today is Thursday. The 3 days, that means Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, you have not started your work. Now today is Thursday. Now what you are going to do is, now you are going to work. How can I? Said the camel. By cursing, and by all this story went on, the camel has still not learnt. He is asking that, by you have given me such a hump, how can I now? How can I? Said the camel. How can I? That means how he can, said the camel, with his hump on his back. With the hump on his back, how he can work? He is asking to the jinn. That has a purpose. For that, the jinn is saying that yes, some purpose is there for that, said the jinn. All because you have missed all those 3 days. That means this hump is given to you in such a way that the work which you have not done has been loaded on your back as a big hump. The 3 days work which you have not done has given you as a load on your back, as a curse, but at the same time you will be able to work now for 3 days without eating also. The jinn is saying that the work which you have not done, that has given as a hump, but at the same time the 3 days if you work also without eating, you will be alive, because you can be, the hump is given in such a way that you can store inside the water, because you can live on your hump, because that hump which word you have again and again and again you have said, you can live because of that. And don't you ever say I have never did anything for you. And don't say, the jinn is telling to the camel that don't say that I have not done anything to you, because as in charge of the desert, I have to give you a right justice to everyone. If you have not done anything, at the same time I have to give punishment. As an in charge of the desert, I have to take care the good things for you. So I have given you the hump of the 3 days work which you have not done as a load. At the same time, you can store your food inside so that you can do 3 days work also without eating anything. So for that, you should not say anything that I have not done a right justice for you. So let us move on to the next. The last lines of the story. Come out of the story and go to the tree and behave. So the jinn is saying that now just come out of the desert and go to the tree. The three animals, the horse, dog and the ox. The three, and behave well with them. And the camel went away to join the three. And what happened? To obey the words of the jinn, and he went out of the desert and he joined the other three. And from that day to this, the camel always wears a hump. So we can see that today in any picture you can see that the camel is having a big hump on his back. So and from that day to this, the camel always wears a hump, and we call it hump because now not to hurt his feelings, but he has never yet caught up with the 3 days that he had missed at the beginning of the world. That means he has not yet learned about the 3 days mistakes he has done. That is why the hump is always on the back in the camel till now. So he has never yet learned how to behave. That means he has not learned how to behave with the others because of that 3 days mistake. And this has been written by Rudyard Kipling, abridged. Abridged, we can say that a few of these details only is given of the story. The story is a very big story. It has been shortened and given to you in a short summary of the story. So I hope you have understood the story. Let's see a short recap of the story at once. When the world has begun, animals are started to work in the place of vehicles. That means they have been helping the human beings in so many other work. So there are so many animals in that. In this story there are 2-3 animals like horse, camel, ox, dog and there. So in that all the 3 animals, that is horse, ox and dog, are working, and the camel, which one is so lazy and not doing anything and sitting very alone at the desert by making a very loud cry over there. And he is very proud of himself, his appearance. And when the work started on Monday, the horse started the work and he was carrying a saddle on his back on Monday. And when he saw camel was sitting alone and not doing any work, he started to call the camel and say that come and trot like us, like come and carry the load and just work like us on Monday. For that, the camel said the only word hump, because whenever anybody asks him or do anything, he just nothing he used to say, only hump. Next, on Tuesday, the dog was carrying sticks from one place to another, fetching. That means he is fetching the stick from one place and he's throwing on the other place. That work he's doing. On that time, when he saw the camel is not doing anything, he was calling the camel to work. For that, the camel again said the word hump. And the third day, it's on Wednesday, when the ox was plowing, digging the soil for the field. That time when he saw that the camel is not doing anything and he called him for plowing like the rest of us. For that, the camel again the same word said, hump. And all the three animals, when they caught up that incident with the camel, they go and said that all that incident to the camel, that man who was giving them the work. They said them separately whenever they went to the camel and complained about that camel. For that, the man was giving a solution to all the three animals, that the hump, which the word the camel is saying, from that word we are not going to do anything, and the camel is not willing to work. From that we are not going to do anything now, but our work should be completed. For that, you must share the work of the camel and do the double of the work at the end of the third day. At the end of the third day, the man called all the three animals and said that as the camel is not doing anything, now you are going to share the work and you are going to do the double of the work. And which made all the three animals very angry. And when all the three animals was angry, they went away from there and on the edge of the desert. They were talking about themselves, that what we can do if we are doing such a hard work and everything we are doing, and still we are loaded up with more work because of that camel who has not done anything. So like this, when they are discussing and they were finding out the solution for that time the camel came over there and smiled at them, and they got angry. And that time also the camel said the word hump, which made all the three animals so much sad and angry that the camel is not doing anything, and still he's saying the same word. Like that, they were standing and with the angry face and looking at the camel. For that solution, they are now going to one place. They are now going to complain one person who came out rolled with the dust. That is our genie we used to say. So all the three animals started to complain to the jinn about the camel not doing anything, that whatever they were asking for trotting, for plowing, for fetching, whatever they were asked, and what the camel replied to them only says hum. That all the three animals, that whenever we called him to work, he said nothing, only the word he said was hum. So the jinn was saying that, wait a minute, all the three, just I will have a talk with the camel. I will see that if he is okay, if he is just want to regret for the mistake, I will make him understand. But if he is saying anything, I will hump him. Don't worry. Like that he said, and wait a minute, let me go and check. Like that he said, and he went to the camel. So he was started to ask to the camel that what happened, you are not doing anything, as all the three animals are complaining about you. From Monday morning you have not done anything, and this is not good for you. Like that he started to say having a chin on his hand, having a hand on his chin, and started to ask. And he saw that the jinn is saying that the camel is looking at his appearance with very beautiful appearance. He is looking on the lake, admiring himself, not telling anything. At last, he said the only word which he did not expected from him. The word is hump. Again the jinn said that if you say again this word, I will definitely going to make you work for that. You will be get a punishment in such a way that you will not forget. So again the camel, like disobeying the jinn who was in charge of the desert, and sitting on the desert, he said the same word, which made the jinn so much angry that he made the camel with a big hump, with a big lump, we can say, which for that word he is using the word hump because it will not make a emotion to the camel, because as he was very much proud about himself of his appearance, by making his appearance ugly, which will make the camel sad. For that he is using the word hump and saying that to camel that you have not done any work till Wednesday. From Monday, that is 3 days, you have not done the work. So that 3 days work has been given you as a big hump on your back, and you today is Thursday and you have to work now. And you have to behave well with all the 3 animals. And you should not say that I have not done anything for you, because whatever I have given you a hump, that is good for you. That is not a hindrance, that is not an obstacle for you, because you can work till 3 days without eating anything, as you will be alive because of that hump. Inside that you can store whatever you want to have, and within that 3 days you can do anything without eating also. So you should not say anything that I have not done. As a jinn, as an in charge of all the desert, I have given a justice of both the things, that as an in charge I have to think about your good also, and I have to think about your mistake you have done also. So that is why I have given you a hump. Go and behave well. For that but the camel has not learnt anything and not behaved also well after that. So that is why till we can say that with the appearance of that camel with a back with a big hump on him, and he used to carry away all the days throughout the year, throughout rolled of the years, we can say, with the back with a hump, without learning. If he had learned, might be the back has been went away, but till now he has not learnt anything. That is why the hump is on the back. So here from this story we can see that. So what is the moral of this story? That do your work on time, because laziness never pays. Because one day you are wasting, the next day you are thinking about that I have done that work yesterday, that yesterday is not going to come again. If you are lazy and not doing anything on the time, you will be not able to work. This is like I have told you about that fable story. This is also one of the fable story, we can say, with the animals as characters we have given here. And this is also will be feasible for human beings, as human beings who are lazy to work and making others to work for them will pay for it and will never learn anything. And if they are lazy to work now, and they will be lazy forever, and they will not learn anything good about that. So I hope you have understood the story. Thank you.